Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 18 is officially out, and a lot has happened. The spoilers made it seem like Shinjus were deceiving as well, but no, still ninjas or humans are still capable of doing something diabolical. And the art of this chapter was very impressive. Without further delay, let's jump right into the chapter. Matsuri is on the cover page with her original colors, and with this, only Mamushi is left to have his own solo cover among the Shinju. The title of the chapter is Only Babble in Your Sleep, which is an emergency shutdown code Amato had set up since he had restored Kawaki's arm and karma, way back during the Ishiki arc. At the start of the chapter, Sumire is zoning out because of her catfight with Sarada while entering Amato's lab. She watched Kawaki sticking Amato to the wall with his wood hand. Watching this, Sumire shouts to Kawaki to stop him, but Kawaki says, "Relax, Sumire, it may seem violent, but we are just having a talk." Sumire stops, and Kawaki continues talking to Amato. Kawaki says whatever Amato had done to his body up to now, he didn't care, but now he will decide what type of modifications he needs. He asks Amato to increase his offensive abilities, or else he will kill him. He continues, "Look into my eyes, Amato, you see that." Amato loosens Kawaki's grip. Kawaki once again warns him to choose his words carefully. Amato looks into Kawaki's eyes and says, "Only babble in your sleep, Kawaki." Veins appears in Kawaki's eyes, and he falls on the ground. What Kawaki told Amato to do were the conditions for his own shutdown. Looking directly at him, and choosing the words carefully, Sumire realizes what happened as she can use an emergency shutdown code on Delta. Amato coughs and says, "Damn brat," and asks Sumire to help move Kawaki. Sleeping has kind of become a thing for Kawaki since the start of the time skip. We move to Sand Village, where the outsmarting Shinju mission is going on, and they have successfully split them. Sarada and Mitsuki took Ryu to their other comrades, Araya and Yodo, as they said in the last chapter. Mitsuki introduces them. Araya greets him, but Yodo just stares at him. Ryu asks Sarada if she is totally doing that. Sarada replies sorry, she is shy. It takes her time to be comfortable. Araya whispers and asks her to calm down. We know she has been desperate to save Shinki, so she won't calm down. Meanwhile, Matsuri and Konohamaru continue their talking. Matsuri explains the situation and asks Konohamaru his thoughts. Konohamaru replies, "I cannot understand what you're saying, but you seem fine physically, and your color's good. I see, Konohamaru, what you're doing." Matsuri continues telling how she was super nervous, and after talking to him, she started to feel more normal and normal. She thinks this is what she needed to finally become her true self. Konohamaru is just pampering her even though he himself is feeling awkward. Matsuri asks if she can call him Konohamaru-chan, which reminds him of Kid Moegi calling him Konohamaru-chan and transitioning to her adult self and still calling him Konohamaru-chan, and his expression changes. Even Matsuri notices it. On the other side, Ryu asks where the clues of Boruto are. Before Sarada could make something up, he activates the iron sand, which looks so cool. Sarada asks what you are doing. Ryu explains he uses iron sand for detection or sensory purposes. Not only that, he can sense the emotions of others using this detection ability. Ryu calls Yodo for her bloodlust, but she covers it up somehow. Mitsuki intervenes and explains why they're looking for Boruto and asks his purpose. Ryu basically says they're following Jura's orders as Jura deemed Boruto a threat because of his knowledge, which again represents Jura's thirst for knowledge. He considered someone's knowledge a threat instead of their powers and ability, which means Kashin Koji needs to be very careful. If he realizes Koji's ability to see possible futures, he will definitely go after him instead of Boruto. Coming back, Sarada asks Ryu if they can use the thorn bulb to lure Boruto. We move to Amato's lab. Kawaki wakes up, and Amato asks him to have a civil talk. Amato says he understands the threat of the divine trees, or Shinju, which he did not see coming, and he needs to modify Kawaki's setting to a fully offensive power form so that he can stand up to them. This means even though Limiter Kawaki is weak against Shinju, he would have taken care of without limiter code, which makes sense because Amato knows the full power of the without limiter code and he adjusted Kawaki's settings according to that. Also, whoever still had confusions, the Shinjus are stronger than without limiter code. Coming back, Amato continues, but he will do it on one condition, and we can see a body inside a tube-like container, and it has a karma mark outside. This is where probably Kawaki needs to put his karma. It's like a fingerprint scanner. Amato explains it's a new clone body for his daughter's resurrection, how it is his life's purpose, and how he failed to resurrect Akaba's soul using science. He needs the divine technique, the Shinjutsu karma. Hence he added her data in Kawaki's karma, which he had explained in part 1. It was a nice recap, and Kawaki's response was the same as before. If she somehow becomes an Otsutsuki, then he will kill it. Amato says fine, but he will fight Kawaki with everything he has. Then Kawaki straight up refuses to help Amato, as he wants the powers first, not a potential enemy. Amato again tries to convince him, but Kawaki has his own conditions. He will help Amato after he defeats all of his enemies. Amato replies that Kawaki is near immortal thanks to his defensive and regenerative powers. If he changes it all to offense, then there is no guarantee of his survival. To which Kawaki replies he doesn't need a guarantee of survival, but he needs potential to kill them. Basically, his goal is the power to destroy with any means, science or otherwise. He lists out his enemies and says you'll be reunited with your daughter after I slaughter them all. And Amato was shocked hearing Kawaki's conditions. We move back to Sand. Matsuri says this is the best day of her life to get to talk with you, Konohamaru-chan. Even though she hasn't lived long, she is happy now and was about to ask something. Konohamaru cuts her off and asks her not to call him Konohamaru-chan, which changes Matsuri's expression, is not blushing anymore, but it's Konohamaru who is blushing. She asks what's wrong. He replies only one person calls him that, and it's giving him goosebumps, and he asks her to call him Konohamaru. And Matsuri's full expression changes as she asks him if that one person is Kazumitsuri Moegi, and what that woman is to him. She is about to attack him by saying his full name, and he realizes that he has made a big mistake. Meanwhile, Ryu acknowledges the plan that Sarada suggested and creates the thorn bulb from his chest and says, let's see if they'll bite. It was like Ikimoto-sensei asking the reader what they'll do. Yodo considers this a golden opportunity and jumps to grab the thorn bulb. Araya says no Yodo, and she stops midair near the bulb. Ryu laughs and says, I thought this might be the case. Mitsuki thinks he's not as dumb as he acts, and the iron sand starts coating everyone. Ryu says, that's so low, dear ninja friends. Your betrayal is going to give me serious trauma. Which is kind of true, as they are newborn wild cubs. He continues, I think you need to be punished, and makes Sarada take out a kunai to attack Yodo. Mitsuki understands he is controlling them like puppets using iron sand, because he has fought Shinki. It is one of Shinki's ability. He has learned puppet techniques from Kankuro. On the next page a slash appears and frees Sarada and Yodo from Ryu's iron sand. On the last page we can see it's Araya who freed them using his sword. He explains that the lodestone sand sealing blade is a technique he created for Shinki and himself to use as a combination attack, but it is coming in handy against his Shinju clone Ryu. Araya asks Shinki to lend his strength. Ryu replies, what the heck, that's so not fair, and the chapter ends. This was another banger chapter. The setup is completed, and things are moving again. Also, the art was really impressive, let it be Kawaki's eye, Ryu's iron sand, or the expression changes in Matsuri. It was pretty insane. It focused on side characters and villains, which is very good. We did not have a single Boruto panel, but the conversation between Kawaki and Amato was very interesting. Amato probably will cooperate with him, but I was surprised that Kawaki didn't say anything about the shutdown code. But before coming to any conclusion, let's wait for the next chapter. This is it for the video. Comment below your thoughts on the chapter, and we will meet in the next one.